super chat here from the Universal boss Jurgen Klopp, who says Hendo will go down in history with Liverpool's great captains like Emlyn Hughes, Phil Thompson, Souness, Alan Hansen, and Steven Gerrard. Do you agree? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, man. That's 100% right. 100% correct.
Definitely.
How can he not? He's one of the, this is one of the most impressive parts of their history right now. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
So they have to,
exactly,
in my opinion, anyway.
He's crazy, like the disrespect that he gets.
Go on.
I was just going to say, it's like I've even been speaking to other football fans over the past week about Jordan Henderson, and it's crazy the disrespect that he gets. I mean, people just think that he's just a passion merchant. He's not just a passion merchant. Don't get me wrong. His mentality and his leadership qualities that he has on the pitch is what gets him over the line, in my opinion, to be a world-class player. It's not just ability. You know, you look at Vincent Kompany, don't get me wrong, he was a world-class centre-back as well, so it's not the greatest thing. But I think people even underestimate Henderson's football ability, but it's the captain that gets you over the line and wins you those trophies. A comparison was made the other day. It was Henderson and Pogba, and I was saying Henderson has been easily more world-class than Pogba over the past couple of years. You can talk about overall, but mate, over the past couple of years, there's no comparison, purely based on the fact Henderson has been turning up on the pitch, and the people who give the arguments, oh, but would he do it in a Bayern Munich? Would he do? No, that's a stupid argument. He's doing it in the Liverpool team, no matter why, no matter who, because of, whether it's Klopp or whatnot, he's still doing it, and that's what's going to go down in history, and that's why he's my captain, and that's why he deserves to have more recognition from neutral fans.
The one thing I don't like is when fans say exactly what you've just said there, is when fans say, oh, would he do it at this club? Would he do it at that club? And that annoys me, because at the end of the day, he's not at that club. He's not at Real Madrid. He's not at Bayern Munich. He's at Liverpool, and he's doing it at Liverpool. You know, Salah didn't do it at Chelsea. Comes to Liverpool, scores 34 league goals in his first season. So people that say, oh, would Henderson do it here, there, there? It doesn't matter. He's doing it at Liverpool. And for anyone that has any questions about Henderson or whether he'll go down as a Liverpool legend, I just say one thing. He captained us to a Premier League and a Champions League. And at the end of the day, that alone, he could retire tomorrow. And he's a Liverpool legend in my eyes. And it's as simple as that. He's one of the great captains. And it doesn't get any simpler than that. And I don't want to start making statements like statues and stuff like that, because we know we only reserve that for the best of the best. But he's close to being that level where I'll say in 10 years' time, maybe we should think about building him a statue. Do you know what I'm saying?
How much more he can achieve. Think about how much more he can achieve. He's a young captain, and he's been winning trophies over the past couple of years. But Jordan Henderson, and let's be honest, he's most likely going to stay at Liverpool for the rest of his prime years at the very least. Just think of the ceiling that he's got left to win more trophies. I don't know his exact age, but 29, 30. Mate, you're fitting many more trophies into that trophy cabinet, and he might not only get just a Premier League trophy over Steven Gerrard, he might get 2 or 3 more than Steven Gerrard. He might get another Champions League, 1 more than what Steven Gerrard got, and maybe he won't ever be looked at in regards as the player that Steven Gerrard was, but people will respect what Jordan Henderson was more in hindsight, I feel, because we will even look at this season. Without Jordan Henderson, we got slapped by Aston Villa 7-2. Without Jordan Henderson, watch the first half against Brighton and watch the second when he came on. Different story. We lose that game against Brighton. There's so many games where you need to realise when Henderson isn't in that midfield is non-existent. And obviously, I don't know if that's a different story with Thiago, but Henderson's unreal, man. And people think I overrate him, but it's just not the case.
Do you know what's interesting with Henderson? There's this ability thing versus passion merchant. And do you know what I find? When you look at individuals who, I'll use this word, but I mean it, hate passion merchants, they tend to be people that will always claim that they're football fans first. And I've come to the conclusion that football fans first, they don't love a football club like you do, James, like Josh does, like I do, like Stroh does, all of us here. I put Man United above everything. So I want to see somebody who turns up for my club week in, week out. I would rather a 100% dedicated Scott McTominay over a half-arsed world-class player. I'm not even going to name one to trigger people. Like someone who's there every other week, because I want to see someone fight for my club. When you care about the football above your football club, I actually respect the fact that you want it's all about ability for you. Look what Højbjerg has done to Tottenham's midfield so far this season. We're both gone in there, and he ain't a star. Most of us went, okay, but he solidified things. He for a Jose Mourinho team, and a lot of people say, oh, Spurs have shithoused their way to the top of the league. Jose's just doing what Jose does. This is what Jose had been made world famous for. We've just got this era now of football fans who all they care about is the techers, is the silks, is the skills, is the drag backs, the step overs, and the brilliance. And a prime example of that tonight, we saw an amazing goal from Podence tonight. The way he sat down those Chelsea defenders, he shot deflected and went in. 10 minutes before that, he had a bit of skill that went viral. And I'm sitting there going, why is that skill gone viral? He twined man up, but then lost the ball 3 seconds later. It's like the skill was irrelevant. But some people they don't care what happens after that skill. If he loses it, plays a bad pass, it was all about that skill and touch. The man does a brilliant pirouette turn, drops a shoulder, beats 2 men, and it goes to the ball out wide, and he whips the ball out, and it goes out for a throw-in. I don't care about all the stuff that came before it. I'd rather him not done that and played a simple pass and we still have possession. Maybe that's just me. So I get what you're saying with Jordan Henderson. I do think he is criminally disrespected in the game. And I did a lot of work in the summer where we had the LFC day trippers on, and they were telling me, watch this, watch that. And I've watched him a lot closer, and you can see a difference in Liverpool when he plays. And the irony is that we've seen many players like him in the past in the Premier League, Gary Neville's and Vidic's and Roy Keane's to an extent. Roy Keane actually a lot more technically gifted than people give him credit for. And these guys, what got them through was their aggression and their passion and their leadership above their ability. But yet we love them. We see Liverpool with it, and we all want to play it down and say he's not good enough. And I just think what it really comes down to is a bit of sour grapes, that he's leading a brilliant team forward and they just want to take it away from him. And I think, as O'Shea said, if he was Spanish and played in this same way, I think he'd be looked at as a baller. It's the fact
if his name was Jordan Hendo Nino, then he'd be sweet, wouldn't he, boys? But because it's a Jordan Henderson, people just think, oh, well, all he does is pass it sideways, and he's not positive enough to be on the football pitch. Completely untrue. I
do hear that. We've got a few super chats here. Spurs will slap Liverpool.
Confidence.
Sorrow or cry. They are taking Jose lightly. That is what Nabil thinks there. We have another super chat here that says Liverpool don't lose at home. The game has 1-1 written all over it. Spurs have a higher chance at winning the league than winning at Liverpool. That's a big statement. But I almost think, well, I don't know if I quite agree with that. Winning the league is very, very difficult. But yeah. I hear you on that. We're going to do a bit of fun now. We're going to do score predictions. Then we're going to go over and do the ranking, where we're going to start tiering. A lot of the commenters are saying, don't do the new one, do the old-fashioned ranking. So we've gone to the old-fashioned ranking system, which should be a little bit of fun. One go only allowed. Before we do that, we're going to do score predictions. Going to go to Ram first of all on this. What's the score going to be, mate?
I think it might be a 2-1. I think the main thing is the fans are back, and the added incentive. What happened, I think it was yesterday in the passing of Gerard Houllier. I think the fans and the players are going to be so galvanized. They're going to the team talk is going to be dominated by doing it for Gerard Houllier, who set the precedent for everything that's going to happen for Liverpool Football Club. So for me, it will be a 2-1 victory.
Ooh, confident. James?
I'm going to agree with that 2-1. I don't want to dispute the fact that Spurs can very much certainly get a goal, mate. Harry Kane and Heung-min Son are just on fire this season. And with the fact that we do, don't get me wrong, I love how Fabinho has stepped in. We're still unsure whether Matip's going to play this game. But even if he plays, I'm still worried about Kane and Son. So I'm not disputing that they can score. But it's just facts. Liverpool are going to be up for this game. It's a massive game. And they have that seed planted in their mind that they know in hindsight this could be a title decider, even though it's December. So 2-1 as well.
O'Shea?
Yeah, 2-0. Just simply because the last time we played Tottenham in a game when it really mattered, the Champions League final, I noticed that they seemed very quite afraid. You know, both teams seemed quite afraid in that match to kind of do anything. But I'm going off that, and also, you know, we're going to have most of the possession, and if we can kind of figure out a way to get back quick when they break on the counter attack, we can nullify Harry Kane and Son. So yeah, 2-0.
Stro?
2-1. Yeah,
2-1
2-1 for me.
Joshy, what you going with me?
3-1 Spurs.
3-1.
Wow.
Wow.
Hang on a minute.
Yeah.
You were giving it in the group chat that you're worried about Liverpool Football Club. Where's this 3-1 coming
Yeah,
from?
what did I say? I said that I'll always predict a Spurs win, and I always believe that my club. Look, if there's any revenge for the Champions League final, this is where it would have to happen. Like breaking your unbeaten run. I believe that we can do it. It's going to be hard. I wouldn't disrespect Liverpool. They're the hardest team to beat in this league, especially at home. But I think we can do it, innit? I do believe we can.
I like that. I like
Can I
the
ask you a
confidence.
question?
I like that.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? You know when we were doing where we thought teams would finish at the beginning of the year, where did you say Liverpool were going to finish again?
Did I say third?
Nope.
Where did I say then?
You said fourth. And what happened 2 weeks after that?
I'll get my little book out. It's in my book. I wrote these down.
What happened 2 weeks after that? What? The Villa lot?
No.
don't know.
No. When you were going back and forth on Twitter,
No, didn't. Josh, you put Liverpool was first.
I'll let him
Oh
off.
yeah, I did.
yeah, he did.
I'm not
It's
going
written down in my book. It's all here.
No, Stro. I'm the mixed race Spurs fan, innit? There's too many other men on the channel. That's who I am, innit?
No, I was about to start.
Gives me up
The
to
only
David,
reason why
that's what's
was because of the exchange me and you had, because you were like, yeah, I underestimated Liverpool. I apologise, and I was about to bring that back up to you. So I was about to say, you've already made this mistake once. Don't make it again.
No, what? So you want me to predict a loss to my own team? Is that what
No.
you're saying?
Do the sensible thing and take a draw. This is Anfield we're talking about.
I'll be completely honest. If you handed me a draw right now, I would take it. But I have to believe in my team, innit?
No, I respect that.
You know what? I will say this. I will say this about this game. I will say this. Whoever wins this match, I do think it sends out a massive statement in regards to the title challenge. Especially I think if we win it at home, with all the injuries we've had, that sends out a massive statement. And if Tottenham win it, they can beat our unbeaten record at Anfield, and Tottenham can win. That sends out a massive statement to Jose as well.
That I didn't mention. Yeah, if we win, it's not just us like beating them in that one game. It sends out a message to the rest of the league that Anfield isn't invincible anymore. So it could actually turn the title race. But even if we don't win it, it could mean that Liverpool lose it to someone else.
Do you know? I said that earlier. A lot of the Chelsea fans I'm hoping it's a draw because they're thinking about both dropping points. I said honestly, if you want to stop, if anybody wants to win the league this year, barring Liverpool fans, you need Liverpool to lose tomorrow because you've got to see it's seeing how they react to losing. I think this is a much stronger club and team than Arsenal in 2004/5. But that game, Pizzagate, the 49th game unbeaten run, the way they lost, that's the beginning of the end for Arsenal. You can literally do your ducks in a row back to where they are now to that moment. They never, ever recovered from that. And what I love about teams that start seasons well or go on unbeaten runs, it's how do they respond to that first loss, to that defeat? Can they bounce back? So I want Tottenham to win, rivalry aside, purely to see the Liverpool response. Does that make sense? Like a social experiment. I really want to see. I personally think that you'll bounce back almost instantly and go back on another good home run because I think Jurgen Klopp's too strong. Unlike Wenger, who isn't a great manager, he never won back-to-back league titles or a Champions League. Klopp is in the category of great managers, so he'll do that. I'm going with a 2-2 draw, though. That being said, I think it'll be a draw tomorrow. There's an interesting chat here from someone that I need to address. Is Terry, you watch football for results, not entertainment? I would say yes, in the sense of I enjoy watching football, but the result, my team's result, is what's important to me. I don't think I watched football because this looks like a lot of fun. My dad watched it. I decided to pick a team. I picked Man United for my reasons, mainly because David Beckham went to my school, was born in the same hospital as me. That's why I picked Man United. And yeah, I do watch it for results. I mean, again, I suppose it's the football culture you grow up with. Going to football matches for me was about the day, being with my friends, the food before, having a few drinks, being the experience of singing. I would spend at Old Trafford, I would stand for the whole game and I would sing. And I would say I'd probably watch 20 minutes of the match tops because I was singing, arms around people, jumping around, actually quite a bit intoxicated. So football match days for me were not, I used to look forward to getting home and watching match of the day so I could actually see what happened. So yeah, the result was more important to me than entertainment because the whole day surrounding football. And even when I stopped going to games when I had children before the YouTube thing became a big thing for me, match day days were what it was about. It was getting up. It was watching like Soccer AM, watching Grandstand, going out for breakfast with the kids, you know, getting like the whole day was built around the football. It wasn't just about the 90 minutes and was I entertained. The whole day, the aftermath, the discussing, the debating, the ringing my dad, ringing my brother. That for me is what football is. It's more than just 90 minutes. So yeah, I am more about the results than the entertainment, which is why I care more about working hard, fighting for my team, dying for my team, running through brick walls, because I would do that for Man United. So I expect all my players to. So, and I'm not ashamed of that either. Like if people think that makes me uncultured, listen, I know that Zidane, you know, forget stats, one of the greatest footballers ever. You know, I know all these things. I don't need to be taught that, but I care more about, I love Michael Carrick as a footballer more than I love Zidane. Why? Because Michael Carrick won things for my club. I know some people are like, Zidane's my favorite player of all time. I'm like, he didn't play for your club. It doesn't make sense to me. There's no player that I put up as my favorites. I think my top 20 players are all Man United players. Couple of English players in there, Gaza, Alan Shearer, etc. But it's because of what they did for me. Like everybody else, I respect and rate, but you're not in my top. Do you get what I'm saying? How good was Gerrard? I know how good Gerrard was. Man, ain't in my top 2,000. That guy gave me pain in my life, bro. Yeah. Like, I don't like him, but it's normal. But then there's a new generation now of football fans that it's all about, I love Ronaldinho more than I love any Man United player. I find that weird, but that's cool, isn't it?
I think it's like trying to separate the list. So who's your personal favourites, and then like who's actually, like, if you're going to take all bias out of it, not even your personal, who's actually the best. And I think that's when a Ronaldinho and a Gerrard and all them get included into the conversation. But for me, I am not talking about Paul Scholes. I am not talking about Ryan Giggs. Cristiano Ronaldo can go and fuck himself. All of these players, I am not uttering one word about them, because in my personal favourite list, they don't come close. I've got my own legends to put in that list, so I understand where you're coming from. But I also understand when like a young kid might see, like, I don't know, a Ronaldinho, and he sees all these crazy things that he's doing and he's mesmerised by it, and for that reason he gets that connection with the footballer. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think especially young people as well see that.
And I totally get that. I really do. And that's what I mean by everybody's football upbringing is different. Although my dad's a silly man. He was a Spurs fan and he had 5 boys that love football, and he let us pick our own teams. Like my 3 kids, they got no choice. They are forced into everything. I spoke to my son earlier, my 6-year-old. He's playing FIFA. I said, what? He didn't want to show me the screen. I was like, why? He weren't playing with Man United. He knows he's getting told off. He's like, yeah, but I just wanted to play. I wanted to be. No, you play with your team only. I'm so horrible. But it's like, for me, that's how it should be. But listen, I respect everyone who's having different ways. We're going to do something fun now.